I have the honor to sponsor today proposed Senate Bill number 2115 under Committee Report number 59 for an act strengthening the rights of piece rate workers, providing for stricter requirements functions thereof, otherwise known as the Anti-Abuse of Pakyawan Workers Act. At the outset, this measure may seem unnecessary given that we already have the Labor Code, the Wage Rationalization Act, and corresponding DOLE issuances that define and regulate the piece rate system. It provided safeguards with the intention to protect the rights of piece rate workers. Pero hindi po ito ang realidad. Taon-taon na lang po may pupunta sa programa ko ng mga Pakyawan workers na hindi nababayaran ng maayos o dili kaya inaabuso sa mga patakaran ng mga kumpanya. Kaya naman pagdating ko dito sa Senado, isa ito sa mga pinaaral ko kung ano ang pwedeng gawin para matigil ng pang-aabuso sa Pakyawan workers. Nag-ikot ako sa iba't ibang industriya upang malaman kung ano ba ang problema. Panoorin po natin ang maiksing video.
Kasi wala po kami mga benefits dito sir. Tapos sa life po sir, ano po sir, partial. Tapos wala po kami 13 months sir.
Hindi lang po nga pala yung mga kasama namin sir.
Oo, mga
pagkakataon na namin to sir.
Ayan po sir, lahat naman sila sir.
Pagkakataon na namin to sir. Sir, tapos sahod namin.
Sahod po sir, wala.
Ewan ko kung may bibigyan nilang kalahati ngayon
po sir.
Open!
Ba't ka nagsitaguan? Ikaw, nakailang oras ka sa isang araw?
12 hours.
12 hours.
Inabot kami 12.
Hanggang 2 a.m. pa kuminsan.
Opo.
Magkano naman pag inabot kayo ng 2 a.m. pag maraming gawa?
Nasa 1,000 po, gano'n.
Ilang oras trabaho niyo?
Pasok kami alas 7, bisa po uwi po kami ng alas 7, alas 8 ko ng oras po matapos. Pakyawan pong gawa namin.
Umahataw po kami para makaminimum po kami.
Magkano ang sweldo mo dito?
4-7 po ba araw?
Grabe naman. Ilang buwan na kayo rito?
4 years.
4 years? 470?
Hindi na po nila kami pinaparenew po, sir. Tapos yung ETL tsaka ID namin, sir, kinukuha nila.
ID no? Kinuha?
Opo, sir. Tapos yung pinakapundo namin, sir, ayaw nilang ibigay yung sahod namin kasi pag hindi po namin isurrender yung ID po namin tsaka ATM, sir.
Okay.
Ibayad po namin yun, sir. Inoperan lang po kami ng 10K, sir. Tapos sabi po nung attorney, sir, ng WL po, yun daw po yung kaya lang po daw po na maibigay ng WL daw po sa amin. 10K po bawat isang tao po sa amin, sir.
Samantalang ilang taong kayo niloko?
Opo, sir. Wala po kaming mga binigay doon, sir. Yung overtime, sir, wala pong bayad. Saka wala pong 13-month fee, sir. Pinapautang pa po kami ng mga product nila na malapit na pong may expired, sir.
Mr. President, for too long, these workers ranging from garment cutters in Cavite, food packers in Camanaba, and other types of Pakyawan workers like the handicraft makers and agricultural workers all over the country. They have all been suffering from abuse despite the existence of our labor laws. Sa pamamagitan ng sistema ng Pakyawan, nakahanap ang mga employees ng paraan para baliwalain ang kanilang mga karapatan. Kagaya ng napatunayan natin sa ating pag-iikot sa mga pabrika, most of them are paid with rates determined arbitrarily by employers, either below minimum wage in violation of piece rate orders, and worse, sometimes rates which are implemented without the benefit of a valid piece rate order. Thus, there's an urgent need to pass these proposed measures to correct these injustices by strengthening the rights of piece rate workers in some key areas. First, prior to the adoption of a piece rate scheme, it shall be mandatory for employers to file an application with the relevant regional tripartite wages and productivity board, or RTWPB, for conduct of a time and motion study, which shall serve as basis for the issuance, renewal, or updating of piece rate order. Second, workers who have rendered at least 8 hours of work in a day should be compensated not lower than the applicable minimum wage in the area. Third, this measure will mandate the posting of an approved piece rate order in the workplace where it could be accessed by all the workers for purposes of verifying their salary computation. Fourth, it shall be mandatory for the RTWPB to maintain an accurate and updated database of all issued piece rate orders and for the DOLE to require the submission of sworn certifications from every employer, stating among others that adjustments shall be adopted by the company following the release of a new wage order. Fifth, under this measure, the DOLE, in the exercise of its visitorial powers and to its labor inspectors, shall conduct inspection at least twice a year to ensure compliance by companies of their piece rate orders. In the conduct of this inspection, there shall be the mandatory presence and participation of the workers or workers' representative. And finally, and most importantly, the proposed measure defines prohibited acts: underpayment of wages, non-payment of statutory benefits, non-compliance with piece rate orders, failure to adopt orders following the issuance of a new wage order, failure to apply for conduct a TMS. Corresponding penalties in the form of fines, suspension of operation, or closure of business shall be meted against violators. The penalty shall be graduated based on the gravity of the violation, number of workers, duration and frequency of violation, and the size and capacity of the enterprise. Mr. President and dear colleagues, huwag nating hayaan na ipagpatuloy ang ganitong sistema ng Pakyawan na walang pananagutan ng mga lumalabag na employers. Ang ating mga Pakyawan workers ay mga tao may karapatan at pangangailangan din. Hindi sila mga kagamitan at makina na babayaran lang pagtapos na ang kota sa produksyon. While we cannot abolish this payment scheme, which has long been adopted by several industries, we cannot simply allow this piece rate system to be a mechanism for exploitation either. Hindi natin hangad na patayin ang mga industriya, lalo na mga manufacturing industries kung saan libo-libong mga manggagawang umaasa. Nais lang natin na paigtingin ang mga umiral na regulasyon, bigyan ngipin ang batas, panagutin ang mga violators at ayusin ang implementasyon ng sistema sa Pakyawan. It is time to bring the law closer to them, making the rights of piece rate workers a tangible reality rather than just a provision on paper. I urge my dear colleagues to support the prompt passage of this measure. Maraming salamat po, Mr. President.